welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and it is PaigeyTV where I mess up so you guys don't have to. So if you don't know by now, I am a female let me start over. I am a black female truck driver. I am 5'2" and I'm 100 pounds soaking wet. So that I feel it like in my mind I feel like I'm a target to some people that likes to take advantage of people that are more vulnerable, but my mouth says otherwise. I've always been very much a vocal person. I've always spoke up for myself. I've always stood up for myself, and that's not gonna change. My mama be down in the comments. So mama, when you watching this, I want you to comment and tell these people that I ain't never been afraid of nobody. I was afraid of you sometimes, but that's besides the point. So we're gonna talk about this. There was one day I was on my route and I just stopped inside of the Loves for a quick minute to use the bathroom, maybe get a snack, or I think I got a drink or something like that. And I was parking into one of the little parking spots. And usually, when people realize that I'm driving the truck, a lot of people look at me, sometimes they look at me like this, or they be like, because I am not a typical truck driver, which is okay. A lot of the times, people stop me and say, how old are you? And I thought you were a kid, and that, this and that, which is normal. I'm used to it. Um, I don't mind as long as you're respectful. I don't mind talking to you and telling you, yeah, I'm a truck driver. I've been driving for a year right now, so and I actually enjoy it. A lot of people are really shocked that I drive a manual truck. I never really drove an automatic. I only did it in my training when I started my job. But besides the point, I don't mind talking to other, especially experienced truck drivers, because there may be a question that I want to ask you, or get some information out of you. What's your experience been like? Or you can, like, I am so open to tips, all of that, because this is a career that I chose and that I really, really love. But anyways, I was backing into the parking spot, and I looked over to my right, and there were two truck drivers, and they both had their own trucks, but one of the truck drivers was in the passenger seat of his friend's truck. They were working for the same trucking company, and they looked over to their left, which was my right, and they looked surprised. And I'm like, they probably just shocked that so small and I look so young, which is normal. And so I always look around me. Luckily it was daytime, so nobody, if they were trying to hide, I would be able to see them. So I get out the truck and I go into the Loves. I come back outside the Loves. Y'all, I feel so uncomfortable right now. Y'all, these people are staring at me. I usually don't feel uncomfortable. Right now I do, and he's gonna get cussed out. Please don't talk to me. And I see one of the driver that was in the passenger seat, he was walking around my truck. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because if you don't know by now, if you're a new driver, let me tell you something. If you're driving a tractor trailer, there are drivers out here that will pull your kingpin. And if you don't check your kingpin and you just start driving without in tripping your truck, that's an in trip when you inspect your truck in the middle of your route. So if you pull up and you didn't check your kingpin and somebody pulled your kingpin, you're gonna drop that trailer. And that is very embarrassing. I've never done it because I've always checked my kingpin. But that's very embarrassing to do when you are amongst other truck drivers. So just FYI, if you're a new driver, always check your kingpin when you leave your truck. In my mind, I'm like, oh, this man pull my kingpin. I'm like, the audacity of you to think that I would not check my truck. But he was walking around my truck. So my truck was actually parked next to a garbage can. So I don't know if he was pretending or if he was actually walking to the garbage can. But as I was walking from the front door of the Loves, he went back and forth to the garbage can like 2 or 3 times. So I'm like, oh, you is not slick, John. You're not slick. Because I'm smarter than that, okay? I thought he was about to say something to me, but he ended up walking into the Loves. Where his buddy was still in the truck, and that man was mugging me. I mean, I thought he was gonna fight me. Like, he was just like, and although I know I have all types of people that watch my channel, I absolutely am grateful for your support. I am black, obviously, and a lot of white men do not like to see people that don't look like them do this job just as good as them. And that's just the God honest truth. Now, all white men aren't like that. I've met some amazing people that are white men that have supported me. The 2 men that taught me how to drive were 2 white men, and I am so grateful for everything that they have taught me. And then my office manager is a white man, probably one of the best human beings I have met while in trucking. Literally, like he legit has my back. Like, even when I be wrong. So not all white men are not like that, but I've met some people, the majority white men, that have like really gave me the ugly face. But unfortunately for them, I can give the ugly face back. Now, you may be physically stronger than me, of course, but I'm gonna fight back if I need to. Anyways, so he was mugging me, and I'm just like, so I mind my business, get in my truck, and I'm actually eating and stuff. And I probably take about 20 minutes to eat or whatever. And then I finished eating, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna trip my truck really good because these guys look like they were older, so I'm assuming that they are experienced, so they could have done anything to my truck, And with me looking so young, a lot of people probably think this is my first day on the job, which it is not. But people make assumptions. I make assumptions. By this time, the guy that went into the Loves, he walked back out and he got back in the truck with his friend. While they were in the truck, I get out of my truck and I start looking at my truck. We're going to start from the front to the back. And then the same guy that was walking around my truck, the same guy, he's the exact same guy that went inside the Loves and walked past me. He starts to get out of the truck and he starts fumbling with the truck that's next to him, which was actually his truck that he was driving. And they were driving flatbeds and they had no freight on their flatbeds. He had his back turned, and I'm like, why is he doing this? And I'm thoroughly looking at my truck. Sometimes I take a quick glance, but this time I was looking at my truck. Y'all see, he get out the truck as soon as I get out the truck. Can I help you? Can I help you? Okay, you've been staring and stuff. I say you've been staring at me the whole time I've been here. It's weird. Don't do that. Y'all see, he's been staring at me. He better not walk up on me because I swear. Like, why are you staring at me? Like, what are you doing? And then he was all fidgety and stuff. And I'm like you fidgeting? What you fidgeting for if you ain't did nothing? And some people, do that. So sometimes they can't help that. But I don't know that. At this point, I'm in protective mode. At this point, I'm in survival mode. So I don't know if you were born like that or you just really just did something, but I'm I'm trying to protect myself first. Forget about you. Like, why you fidgeting? Like, why you acting like that if you ain't did nothing? And then why you getting out the truck when I'm getting out the truck? You were sitting. They were already sitting there when I got there. So if you needed to do something to your truck, you would have done that way before that. Or I mean, why are you getting out the truck at the same time as me? That makes no sense. Luckily I was able to record him. So I checked my truck. My truck seemed to be okay. And then like the way that I was parked, the way that I parked my truck and trailer, I was a little bit further. I was a little bit further back from where because I was in a day cab and they're in a sleeper, and of course sleepers are just a tad bit longer. So my doors, my windows or whatever, they didn't match up with them. They were a little bit further up. So as I'm pulling out slow because it was a lot of, the parking lot was really busy. And I look over at them to look them in their eyes because I want you to know that I see you. I want you to know that I'm not scared of you. And I want you to know that you don't intimidate me. Like, I've went against the biggest ones. You don't scare me. Although I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit scared, but I'm not gonna show that on my face. I'm pulling up, and by this time my doors are matching up with their doors, and they're literally breaking their necks looking at me. And it's like, what's good? I'm trying to calm down. Like, I'm literally trying to calm down because I do not want to go there. But I go there. If I'm shaking, it's not because I'm like scared. Well, I am a little scared, but I'm also pissed off. Like, stop staring at me, weirdo. I take this key and shove it in your throat, then you're gonna be mad and dead. What the looking at? Let me get they trucks and call their company. And let's see if they find that weird then. What company? Couture. 223 and 121. I'm gonna call that company because, like, why you staring at me like that? Like, what's the problem? And I just need them to know, like, I'm not that girl. And I actually called the company. No one answered, but I called them to tell them, and I gave them their truck numbers to let them know that maybe when they start training, they need to teach a little bit of etiquette when it comes to being around other female truck drivers. Like, don't be staring at them because that can make them feel uncomfortable. I know, as for the most part, I know how to have control, but there are people out there that will react first and ask questions later. And when it comes to being in defense mode or survival mode. So, to my drivers out there, all my drivers actually, be careful. Make sure you look around, especially to those, you got to spend the night at a truck stop, or where trucks spend the night at. Luckily, I go home every day. I've never been over the road. I eventually do want to go. This has not affected the way that I feel about going over the road because I already know what I need to do to make sure that I'm good, and I'm going to be good. Okay? So, I'm not afraid. But just, yeah, just make sure you look, pay attention. And there have been people that have asked me for advice, like when it comes to trucking, and I always say pay attention, but me saying pay attention means more than just pay attention to you driving. Pay attention when you stopped. Pay attention when you get out your truck. Pay attention to your truck. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to all of that, because there are people out here that don't have nothing to lose, that are willing to risk their livelihoods to hurt you, and they legit have no reason. So be careful. Thank you guys for supporting me. I'm just fine. I did have to take a moment that day to get my thoughts together and just thank God that I was safe and that I was able to, that wasn't, it didn't end badly, but that was just an experience that I had, and we're going to keep it moving. Thank you guys for watching my channel. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because your girl is almost at 1,000. We're almost there. We're like 30 something away from 1,000. So tell a friend, and I'm over here messing up or whatever. And yeah, bye. What did I do before becoming a truck driver?